Hello and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com. I'm Jim Sheehan, joined again by the head wrestling coach of the Hofstra Pride, Dennis Papadatos. And Coach, Pride coming off a rough weekend out in Las Vegas, where a lot of people have rough weekends. But let's talk about the Pride's participation at the Cliff Keen Las Vegas Invitational.
Didn't go the way we wanted or the way we expected, or to be honest, for how the beginning of the season was going, it didn't match up. You're right. So it happens. As I was saying to some other people before, we were as healthy as anyone could be. We trained right. We prepared right. The guys were in good spirits. We traveled well. We didn't really have any adversity. Guys' weights were fine. But then we struck out a little bit. I guess it happens sometimes. We definitely looked a little off. No one has any idea of why. I know for sure that it wasn't for lack of preparation or lack of effort. Sometimes you're just not clicking, and then one guy's not clicking, and it just became a little. It wasn't the best. There was a couple good situations, but a lot of stuff happened. There was some extremely big. To be honest, officiating and mat table help things that cost us 2 matches that I'm still upset about, to be honest with you. But besides that, most of our underdoing was our own not performing to expectation. And it happens, and, we're going to move, hopefully learn from some of the situations, assess and address, as I like to say. We're going to assess what happened, and we're going to address what happened. But there's no glaring finger. There's no, we don't have an attitude problem. We don't have an effort problem. We don't have a preparation problem. We don't have a training problem. We don't have a guy problem. Just we swung and we missed. So hopefully we don't swing and miss for the rest of the season, and we'll get better from it.
Sage Heller was the last man standing for the Pride, going 2-2 in the tournament. Talk about his performance.
One of the guys he beat was ranked, is still ranked high, still ranked in like around the 20th mark, and Sage beat him pretty good. Interesting enough, he's the next match we'll wrestle again because he's on Edinburgh, and I can't remember if we wrestle Edinburgh first in our 3 dual meets coming up, but he will have him. I think we wrestle Edinburgh first, so he'll be his next match as well. And then Sage, lost to the number 8 guy in the country who he was beating, got a little stepped over and got in a silly situation, beat a good Michigan kid, and then had another good guy got upset and got thrown in the wrestlebacks early. That kid came back and took 3rd, Skatska. So right now, Sage has, 4 of his losses are all 4 guys ranked in the top 8 in the country on every poll. So his RPI should be pretty good because he also beat another top 20 guy, has beaten some other pretty good guys. But every one of his losses are, other than the Air Force one, which is a little bit of an anomaly of how he's been competing, they're all ranked top 8 in the country, 4 of them. So he's wrestling top competition.
4 guys had 1 and 2 records in the tournament. Who impressed you most of those 4?
Trey probably showed signs, put some points up against a kid that kept battling. He wrestled Schultz really. It was a 1-point match, and that kid ranked 3rd or 4th in the country with a minute left in the match, and then it got a little out of hand, and he kind of was on it. Had some shots he could have finished and fought real hard. Out of them, probably Trey, but I wouldn't say there isn't one person that we had higher expectations of. So it's kind of hard to really judge. Maybe Zachary Knighton Ward, who had the number 2 ranked kid in the country, pinned for a minute. There was a score discrepancy that it should have went to overtime. That it was not right. The score was not right, and it wasn't adjusted. Even though we were screaming as hard as we could to make sure it was adjusted, and I'm still kind of grumpy about it. So he obviously wrestled well, but then didn't recover well after that, which we got to help him adjust a little better. It was an extreme high to an extreme low really fast, and they're kids, and we're humans, and I think it affected him a little bit because he didn't wrestle back as well. But he looked good in the first match. He looked really good in the second match. So probably those 2 stood out the most of the 1 and 2 performances, Trey and Zach.
Yeah, his first two matches were against Minnesota and Arizona State, and
Arizona State kids ranked 2nd in the country,
and that's pretty tall order.
Yes.
So, all right, the Pride finished with 9 points, finished in 28th place. Nebraska winning the tournament, 9 place winners. Pretty impressive showing for the Cornhuskers. Ohio State finished second. They had 6 place winners, and then Arizona State right behind with 6 place winners as well. Northern Iowa, 2 with 6 place winners. Is a really tough tournament that gives a good indication of what's going to happen in March. What do you think about that?
Like I said, I hope not, because we didn't perform well. But we're okay with the fact that we know we just didn't perform well. It's not like we left there and saying we're just not good enough to compete here. We showed flashes of it. We showed signs of it. We just didn't look right. So we left there thinking, okay, what minor mental adjustments do we need to make sure we're wrestling optimal when we have this high level of competition. So great tournament. We plan on being at it again. We need it for RPI. So like I said, we're going to look at it and move forward. So what we can do.
Well, the Pride have the next week and a half off before they're getting back for semester finals, and then getting back to get ready for the West Virginia quad against Edinburgh, VMI, and then West Virginia, and then breaking for the holidays, and then coming back right after the New Year. What's the game plan for the next 2 weeks?
Training, focus on finals. Focus on being healthy, because we're pretty healthy right now. Really make sure the guys have time to get all their schoolwork done, less stress, be able to focus on it. The wrestling room should be a release. Come in, practice is a nice break from, the stresses of academics right now. So, we're just focusing on that, focusing on being a family, supporting them on what they need, and helping them get better when we're actually on the mat together and in the weight room. So, we're looking forward to that quad, to be together as a team right before Christmas. It's been something that we've had circled on our calendar for a while. We're going to go, hopefully coming swinging and hitting this time. That's the plan.
Well, good luck. Good luck to the Pride in their final exams, and we'll talk to you next week to do a preview of the West Virginia quad.
Great, and obviously want to congratulate women's soccer again for a great season. They had 2 All-Americans. I think it's the first time they've had 2 All-Americans in the same season, right, with Sabrina and Miss Porter. It's the second time. I thought it was the first at 2 on the same year, but that's unbelievable. And obviously Alex Masai, that we're honoring today. Good showing from everyone, and looking forward to be at the men's basketball game today as we play Stony Brook and honor Alex. So.
All right. And thank you for watching the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com.